She probably doesn't know that I'm messaging her, but that's okay. Let's bring her up here.
User was moved to your channel.
Yo. Pam.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, hi! Welcome! Glad to have you. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing absolutely wonderfully awesome. And I am very, very honored to have you here with us. We've been using Pam's Harvestcraft in Karma since Karma's inception, and it is one of the main mods that we use. And I explained this a little bit to you before, that we really wanted to make it so that people would not be without food. We didn't want to use that as a reason for people to be failing at the mod pack. So thank you for such an awesome mod pack.
You are incredibly welcome.
I got it. I'm turning you up. Hold on.
Sorry, do I need to talk any louder?
No, I got you. I turned you up on my end. It's no big deal.
Oh, okay.
So, is there anything that you'd like to say to the audience or anything like that before we get started?
The one thing I would like to say is thank you to everyone who has ever downloaded my mod, who has appreciated the work I've put into it, because let me tell you, it has been a lot of work. It has been very hard, as your questions will soon reveal, and I'm just amazed at how many people actually like what I do.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Yes, I really love what you do, and most of us really, really do. So let's get cracking here. Let's get into the very first question. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself outside of the modding and computer arena? Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Well, for all intents and purposes, I'm a stay-at-home person. I have anxiety issues, so that keeps me from holding a real job. So, pretty much, I'm at home. I love role-playing games. I have a cat. I have a rat. I have a fiance who's in the other room, hopefully listening to this. And, I don't know. My life is a little bit boring, but really I wouldn't trade it for much.
I totally understand. I'm kind of a homebody myself. I mean, I've been trying to venture out more, but I really like being at home. So, and then of course we have two cats, so we love our kitty cats. So, what is your favorite type of pie?
I would have to say either like a chocolate mousse pie
Oh,
or a cherry pie without any actual cherries in it.
a cherry pie with like just the cherry goo in it.
Yes.
That is awesome. A cherry goo pie. That is awesome. How about a cherry goo and chocolate pie?
Oh, I don't know. That seems to be too much combined.
Too much goo combined. Got you. I like a good chocolate mousse pie also, very much so. Like Shad's favorite one is peanut butter chocolate pie that we get it. We have Sherry's here. Do you guys have Sherry's where you're at?
Um, I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't. I think that they're primarily West Coast. Hmm. They serve. They're known for pies. I mean, it's still one of those restaurants that you find in like every strip mall that's outside of the parking lot of the strip mall type of thing. So it's one of those type of restaurants.
Okay, yeah, I don't think we have
Okay.
that over here.
Gotcha. Okay. So where are you from? Where do you hail from? What part of the world are you from?
I am originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and really I've only ever moved about 10 miles away from it, and multiple directions. When I was younger, I had moved down to the south near Brecksville, for anyone who knows where the hell that is. And then now I'm living over eastwards towards Eastlake, which is near Mentor, if anyone's from this area.
Near Mentor. Okay. What is Ohio like? Is it like wooded? Is mountainous? I've never been there.
Well, northern Ohio, where I'm from, basically to your north, obviously, is Lake Erie, and that's pretty cool. I live close enough that if I was to step outside and look between people's houses, I can actually see the lake.
Nice.
Northeast Ohio is pretty wooded. We don't have a lot of just rolling plains. I mean, if you start going southeast or southwest, you will run into that. But up here near Cleveland and the metropolitan area, it's It's either city or wooded. There's really no in between.
City or wooded. So, is Cleveland one of the cities like lucky enough to be remerging and stuff, or is it still like the? I have a vision of Cleveland being a rundown type of city. What is Cleveland like?
Oh, Cleveland is actually getting much better nowadays. I will admit, when I was younger, I kind of recall it being run down, but the fact that they've brought in the casino, all the new type of arenas, the science center, um, all of that is really brightening up Cleveland. They're doing a lot of construction in terms of putting in housing that looks great and is affordable for everyone, even low income families. So
Nice.
they're doing a lot to really improve the look and feel of Cleveland.
Awesome. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. One day when I travel the world, I'll have to fly by Cleveland just to say I've been there. So, what generation are you from? What generation you identify yourself with?
What particularly what exactly are you talking about?
So, like, there's the X Gen, there's the that's really there's the baby boomers, and there's the like what did you grow up in? What was going on when you grew up?
Well, when I grew up, Nintendo was coming out and it was amazing. I remember getting that when I was about 5 years old. I remember being just amazed by Mario Brothers. I grew up with the Super Nintendo up to the PlayStation. Uh, I just remember I would say 80s kid is what you could call me.
An '80s kid. Okay, yeah, I'm same thing. I graduated would have graduated high school in '88, but I went into the military instead. So yeah, I think you and I are probably pretty close to the same age. So I
I graduated high school 2001.
okay. Oh no, then we're definitely not the same age.
Yeah, we're a bit different.
Yeah, we're a bit different. We're definitely not the same age. I'm an old man. You're a
Nah,
young
don't do
lady.
that.
Okay, and so what now we're going to start getting into the Harvestcraft questions, and we're kind of focusing on Harvestcraft a little bit, but as I talked to you earlier, we are going to go into some of the other mods because you have a plethora of mods here that look really freaking cool. But this one is what is your favorite food in Harvestcraft?
I would have to say the tomato because it was literally the first crop that I coded 3.5, 4 years ago.
Wow, a tomato. So do you like tomatoes in real life?
Yes, I'm a huge fan of ketchup. Not a huge fan of actual raw tomatoes, but of ketchup and tomato-based sauces. They're amazing.
Yeah. Do you like sun dried tomatoes and stuff like that?
No.
No. Okay. I love me some sun dried tomatoes. Those add good.
I mean, it's possible I've never had a good one, or I've just never had like the right type of like pizza with it on, or something like that. But I don't know.
What? Okay. Now, what got you into coding mods from Minecraft? What was the thing that led you into coding for Minecraft? And was Minecraft your first? Did you have other things that you coded for first, and so on and so forth?
My only coding I had ever done before that was a little foray into RPG Maker, way way back in the day. And by foray, I mean I used the preset code and everything that was in the game. I mean, I didn't really change much. That introduced me to the concept of modding, but I never touched it. I never coded until till Minecraft came out. I got hooked on Minecraft when someone showed me a video of survival mode, and I saw that at the time there was a modder called Yai XIE. He did a farming mod, which is it was very simple. It just lets you at the time farm pumpkins, melons, and the two types of flowers. And I was enthralled by that. I thought that was amazing. I always loved farming type games as a kid, like Harvest Moon and the like. And so I tried installing Yai's farming mod. And this was back in the day where modding Minecraft was putting stuff in the jar, was deleting things. It was crazy complicated. I
Oh
couldn't get it
yeah.
to work. I could not get it to work for the life of me. It pissed me off so bad that I was like, I'm going to have to make my own. It literally took me a year from then on and off trying to figure out how to code Minecraft to be able to start.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Um, why?
So I started with anger and determination to make my own farming mod because I couldn't install someone else's.
That, and I remember back 2.5 years ago when I put my first mod into Minecraft and having to go and edit and throw it in that way, and it was like convoluted. And thank God they came out with the multi MC and stuff like that. And now, as you mentioned earlier today when we were talking, Curse, and their new thing.
Yes, the fact that I can put together my own mod pack through the Curse client in less than 10 minutes, when doing something like that 3.5 years ago would take, oh, I don't know, a week, is
Right?
absolutely amazing.
Right? Yes, I totally agree. Yeah. So I'm assuming, since you're self-taught, are you enjoying the coding? Is that like your new passion in life to be able to do things like this, or is it just a means to an end?
I actually do really like coding. It's a completely strange interest or hobby for me. It's funny. My fiance is an IT guy, and he would have never pegged me as someone who could actually learn to code, and not only learn to code, but really get into it and get into a coder's mindset and sit there and like mutter to yourself while you're trying to do code and like throw up your arms and get all mad because you can't do it, and all the typical things you would expect a coder to do. So it's very strange that this has turned into I don't want to say job because that has negative connotations, but it's more than a hobby.
It's more than a hobby. Gotcha, gotcha. It's kind of a thing where you could say it's a job, but really it's not a job if they say that once you find something that you love to do, that you don't ever work again because you love it so much.
Yeah, it's a passion. I found it's a way to generate some income because I can't hold down a real job, and I love the fact that people are able to enjoy it and play with it. Not just myself, but the
Right.
fact that I'm having millions of people download this is just amazing.
Yeah, and that must have a lot of satisfaction to it, that knowing that people are really enjoying what you made, and it kind of puts you on the map. It gives you that legitimization of, hey, I'm doing something right, right?
I truly never expected to ever be recognized as like a modder or even a good modder, because normally when people think Minecraft mods, it always was the tech mods, buildcraft, industrial craft, or all the different gun mods and everything else like that. Why would someone talk about a farming mod? And the fact that I'm everywhere now, crazy.
Crazy. I know. You're a must mod. You were one of the Harvestcraft was, like I said, was one of the top mods on the list when we started making it. It was like right there, right in there with Ender IO, right in there with AE2, with thermal expansion. It was right in there. And thank you so much, for making this mod as awesome as it is. So what was the hardest thing about teaching yourself Java? What was the hardest thing about teaching yourself what you do?
I think it was the fact that I was coming into modding at a time when ModLoader was just in its infancy. Minecraft Coder Pack was just coming out and deobfuscating the names and getting into that. And just the fact that I couldn't look at Java tutorials and apply that to Minecraft, because maybe if I had been classically trained, it would have made sense. But the fact that I was seeing different names and different all that type of stuff in Minecraft, I couldn't use what I could read online for just Java applications outside of it. And that was a time when there was no tutorials at all. It was
So
it was
there's
just
no
beat
practical
your face.
application type of thing, right?
Yeah, it was beat your face at the screen and hope things worked.
Right? Okay, okay. And that's always been my problem when I've gone to look at programming. It's like, yeah, I want to program for mods for World of Warcraft, and then you go to look for mods, and you look at the language, and it's like, this has nothing to do with what I want to do. I need something that shows me the direction I need to go. So that must have been very frustrating at the time. I can only wonder how many coffee cups you broke.
Oh, don't even start.
Don't even start. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Do you prefer Harvestcraft to be called Pam's Harvestcraft, or do you prefer it to be called Harvestcraft? What is your want on that?
Um, if someone's just introducing it for the first time or they really want to draw people's attention to it, I would prefer Pam's Harvestcraft, if only because it makes me feel good on the inside. But Harvestcraft is fine and just generally talking about it. But I mean, if you're gonna post about it, I use this mod, or hey, you should check it out, I would prefer if people use the full name, if only because it's easier to find it that way.
Gotcha. Okay, so from here on out, it will be called Pam's Harvestcraft simply because calling it Pam's Harvestcraft makes Pam feel good, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, done. It's done and done. Okay. Um, so we kind of touched on this a tickle bit earlier. What is it that made you really think of Harvestcraft? And then how did you come up with all the foods and all the recipes? What made you, did you like do any studying of cookbooks or anything to come up with the recipes or anything like that?
Really, outside of wanting to install Yai's farming mod, not being able to, what really inspired me to work on Harvestcraft was the fact that I used to play Harvest Moon as a child, which is a Japanese based, well, nowadays it's not Japanese, but game where all you do is play a farmer and you run a farm and you grow your different crops and everything. And I thought Minecraft could really use it. I thought it would be kind of cool if you could grow, but at the time there wasn't potatoes or carrots, so I added potatoes and carrots and like cucumbers to make pickles because my fiance likes pickles, and to add like strawberries so you can make jam, and peanuts so you can make peanut butter. I thought that was kind of cool to add different little tiny foods, and I've actually learned a lot about our fruits and vegetables of the world and how things are cooked and everything else like that. So it's been kind of cool.
Awesome, awesome. Sounds cool. Sounds very cool. Okay. Um, what sort of mods do you suggest be used in conjunction with Pam's Harvestcraft?
Well, the first mod I would suggest is actually Spice of Life, because if you don't want things harder, but you do want a reason to actually sit there and make the different types of foods as opposed to just finding one food you like mashed potatoes, and just eating that forever, Spice of Life actually takes the time to, it keeps track of what food you're eating, and if you eat a food too much, it reduces its effectiveness. So you can't sit there and eat mashed potatoes forever. You actually need to branch out into pizza or just eating cooked mutton or whatever.
Okay. Any other ones besides Spice of Life? Because we've actually hashed over Spice of Life and adding it to Karma. But any other ones besides Spice of Life?
If you want things to be a bit harder, I would suggest Hunger Overall. Hunger Overall also makes it easier, so you could just right click the vanilla crops to replant like my crops are now. It makes it so things give you less food, but it's way more satisfying to finally be able to make something like a giant hamburger and fries and eat it down and watch your entire hunger bar go up, as opposed to just little bits and pieces here and there from eating a piece of fruit or something like that.
Right. And me not knowing my mod pack as well as I should know my mod pack, I'm 99% sure Hunger Overhaul is in the mod pack. So
Yes, it is.
I think I primarily wanted it not because of what you said, but for the right clicking on the crop, so um, not having to replant it was the number one reason I wanted it. So
Yes, that is a handy feature.
yes, very handy. All right, where am I on my list? Okay, and okay, so let's go into some of the other cool mods that you've created, and let's talk about them and give us a brief synopsis of some of them.
Well, my other large mod, I would say, would actually be Wee Flowers. It's actually WEEEEE exclamation point flowers. It's called that because when I first created it, it was actually the first mod I coded. My fiance came in and he was all like, "Wee flowers! You made flowers, big deal!" And I'm like, "I'm naming it that," and that's what it's been named ever since.
Nice, awesome.
We Flowers just started off as an example to myself on how to just get flowers or plants or anything to just generate in the world. Because at the time, the only way I knew how to generate stuff was to do it with ores. Because as I said, there's no tutorials.
Right,
So
right.
that was testing that out, and I liked the fact that there was all different flowers. So I made it so you can get all the different dyes, and now you can grow all the different flowers, and you can extend your dyes by adding like a bottle of water and some redstone, and you can grow like, or not grow, but you can create little like flower vines, and I like it. It's adorable.
We were just talking the other day, and I was talking to Drock, and I said, we need a mod so that I don't have to keep on going out and finding purple dye. I want to be able to grow dye. And it's like, Pam's has a Wee Flowers mod that allows you to make the dye, right? So, yeah. At
That's
the time
great.
I did.
Two other of my larger mods are Bonecraft and Desertcraft. Bonecraft adds fossil ore to the game. It doesn't add cool things like dinosaurs, just an ore that drops bones,
Oh, bummer.
and it allows you to make tools and armor out of bones. They look pretty cool. It also allows you to turn bones into sticks. So when you're underground and you kill a bunch of skeletons, but you have no wood, there you go.
Oh,
Uh,
awesome. Okay.
yeah, Desertcraft. Desertcraft adds 16 new like little cactuses and little like dusty shrubs and stuff to the deserts to make them look nice. I mean, because yeah, in the Sahara, the desert might just be plain sand, but in real life, at least over here in America in the southwest, there's tons of different plants that live in deserts. So I
Right.
wanted to spruce that up. It also adds cactus tools, sandstone tools. It also adds glass steel tools, which is just a way to have highly enchantable tools without having to need gold.
Right.
You just mix iron and glass with that. It also
Nice.
adds glass steel windows, which are explosion proof windows. They have the explosion resistance of obsidian because someone asked me for that a long time ago, so I added that.
So, will it stop a wither?
I don't know. I've never tested that.
Hmm. Okay, I'm going to have
Does
to try
does
that out.
does obsidian stop a wither?
I don't believe it does.
Then I don't think my window will stop a wither either.
Now, is it a glass block or is it a wither? Or I'm sorry, is it a glass block or is it the pane, the window pane?
It's a black outline clear window.
Okay, gotcha. Awesome.
Yeah, it's a block.
Okay, it's a block. Okay,
Yeah.
is it like seamless, like clear glass from Tinkers?
No, it's not cool like that. Uh, no, that's a bit too much for me. But I mean, it's not like Minecraft glass where it has the little streaks in it. It's completely clear.
Oh, it's completely clear. Nice, nice. Okay. Um.
Some
So,
of my
go ahead. Please, go
uh,
ahead. Please.
we got a lot of mods to cover.
Yeah, let's go,
Some of
go.
my other mods are Temperate Plants mod, which just adds a bunch of little bushes and stuff using paint release textures to the world. They don't do anything. You can just punch them, pick them up, move them around, make a little garden out of them. I don't care. A subset mod to that is the Random Plant mod, which only exists because I didn't want to put a donator's. Uh, um, he asked me to make Venus flytraps. So I added Venus flytraps to swamps. They act just like cactuses where they attack you, they deal damage to you, and that's all they do. We
Nice.
also we also have smaller mods. We have Get All the Seeds mods, which is one of my most popular mods outside of Harvestcraft. It basically just adds potatoes, carrots, melon seeds, and pumpkin seeds to tall grass, just so you don't have to worry about finding them in chests or anything crazy
Oh,
like
in
that.
a mine shaft or something like that for
Yeah.
melons and stuff like that. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and then we have clay spawn, which adds clay deposits underground, so you don't have to run around looking for swamps.
Nice.
And trying to think.
I have a list here. We've covered seeds. We've covered desert craft, clay, mop, drop crops. We simple
Oh yes,
recipes. Okay, go
mod
ahead.
drop crops. I forgot about that. I admit I forget about them because I don't always look at them all the time. Mod drop crops basically is a mod someone asked me to make for them, so they could have the ability to gather bones and rotten flesh and ender eyes without having or monsters enabled because they just wanted to play peaceful and they didn't particularly like the other peaceful packs that were out at the time, so they wanted me to be able to let them farm it. And this was before um, what's that mod that lets you grow your own resources?
Like how many? Magic crops.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was before Magic Crops came out, or that was very small.
Ah,
So
okay. What do you feel about mods like Magic Crops and say Aethercraft and EE3 and Mistcraft and RF Tools, would those to us they all have a theme to them. What do you feel about those type of mods?
I like those type of mods.
Okay.
Mistcraft I think is pretty cool. I've always had an issue with it because I've always had a bad computer, so it's really hard to generate all the new worlds, especially with all
Right.
the crazy stuff that can happen. But nowadays I've been able to play with it a bit. I like it. I like using magical crops if I'm doing a like uh, technology based mod pack because then
Hmm.
you can farm like ender eyes to be able to use chunk loaders and stuff like that. So I like those mods.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So now, one of the things that we found out about you is that you were mentioned in PC Gamer as your mod was mentioned as one of the top 25 best Minecraft mods out there, according to PC Gamer. How do you feel about that? That's incredible to be mentioned in a publication like that.
I lost my mind and I literally told everyone. I told people who kind of know about Minecraft but didn't really know understand it. I just told them anyway. I'm like, "Oh my god, look at me. Look what I appeared in. This is amazing. I don't believe this has happened to me." I'm flabbergasted, flattered.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, when Shad brought that to me, I'm going, wow, that's incredible. Good job. We are now going to open this up to questions from the chat. So we will watch chat, and it's now chat's turn to go ahead and ask all the questions you want. And as I said, chat, it must follow the rules. So, chat, go ahead and start kicking off with your questions. Let's hear what you got.
I hope you're reading them because I can't watch the chat and do this at the same time.
Yeah,
It
I
messes
got
me
them.
up.
Oh man. Yeah, I got them. And also, there's like a 24-second delay before they know what I said. So there's going to be a delay here, real quick, while we're waiting for it to come across. So, okay.
All right, sounds great.
So, Minecrafting Dad would like to know: do you have any new mods in development?
Actually, I do. I just recently completed a mod called Harvest the Nether. It was requested by a person named Darchangel89. She was kind enough to donate to my bills so I could make a specific mod for her. It's going to bring a little bit of farming and tree life to the Nether.
Awesome. And isn't there something I want to get into that after when we're done with this? I'm going to start talking about that last question we talked about. Okay. All right. The next question that we got here is: will you be adding any more machines for cooking like the current presser?
I actually do plan on adding a few machines like that. Some of the things I wish to put in are the old churn and quern that I used to have a long time ago. Uh, Maybe a food dehydrator. I have lots of ideas. It's just getting them in.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. Let's see here. I'm trying to catch up with. Where do you get the graphics for your mod? Do you do the graphics your own? Do you get them from the web? Where do you usually find the graphics and stuff for your mods?
A vast majority of my graphics are from Painterly, which I use with his great blessed permission. He's allowed me to just take his graphics and just mutilate them to how I want. I also do a lot of drawing my own. I find graphics online as well. I try not to take graphics from people. I try to contact people and ask them if I can use it. But often, the internet is a wild open place. You can't often find who put what graphic where. And I try to contact people, but it's not always possible.
Right. It's not possible. And basically, just communication the best you can type of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Let's see here. So Kiona wants to know, when will we get pumpkin muffins and cheesecake? Do you want me to answer that for you, or do you got that?
Yes, please.
You will get pumpkin muffins and cheesecake when you sign up and become one of Pam's patrons on her patron page. And that is the correct answer, right?
Yes, it is.
How do you think we got a certain chaotic cookie, right?
Exactly.
So, so Pam and I are talking in the chat earlier today, right? And she goes, "Hey, I made a chaotic cookie," and I said, "Yeah, you made it for us." And she goes, "Oh!" And she puts two and two together. That's true, isn't it?
It is true. It took me a moment to put the two together, but it's pretty funny.
All right. Let's see what else we can. And we already Night Eagle. We've already done that question. It was early on. The Annihilator wants to know is, do you know any other mod makers personally? Any other other mod makers contacted you before?
I am in brief contact with various mod makers. The person who makes Ganny's Surface, he often follows me on Twitter and talks to me and such, and he's a nice guy. I know Jaded Cat isn't a mod maker, but she's a mod pack maker, and she's been a real friend. Ayamaz as well.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to bother other mod makers too much because I do know they get a ton of messages per day. So I really let people contact me because I have, the least amount of life in terms of things to do each day. So
Right. Okay.
I have more time.
Okay. Let me sign something else here. Fat Pig wants to know: can you make a mod that adds meat-eating plants?
A mod that eats meat-eating plants.
That
That
yeah.
sounds like that sounds like an excellent patron donation or PayPal donation to me with what exactly you want.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Okay. Okay. So, what was your first reaction when you were able to use an automatic installer and not have to delete meta-inf?
I about lost my mind. It was amazing. You don't understand how hard it used to be to install mods if you were just now coming into it. I mean, nowadays all you do is click one button and you get a whole mod pack installed. You don't have to do shit. Excuse my language, but
Right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, it was amazing.
um, I'm looking for this one here. Hold on, chat just like super scrolled on me here. Okay, and so this is, I'm going to go off of what Mephi Man is asking, and he asked making mods for 1.8, but I'm going to kind of expand on that. When do you judge is the best time to make the move to the next version? Do you like go off of when Forge is ready? When is it that you decide that it's time to start switching over to the next version of your the next version of Minecraft? And what is your process for doing that? What goes through your head? What do you say? Oh God, I got to upgrade to 1.8 now. What's that? How's that process work for you?
Well, previously the process has literally been, oh crap, Minecraft Forge is updated. Sweet, I can now update, and I literally get an update out within 72 hours.
Nice,
However,
awesome.
however, a lot of people probably don't know this because they're not a modder, but 1.8 changed a ton of things. It On our end, it made things both incredibly complicated to process our stuff from 1.7.10 to 1.8, but it also sets up a lot of easier things later on. So I don't know when Harvestcraft for 1.8 is ever going to come out. It will. I would hope so. It may be that 1.9 comes out and it's much easier for modders to move over. I have tried already to move over to 1.8 and I found it too hard. So I am waiting for more people to make the move, more tutorials to come out, because I literally found it too hard.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, that's realistic right there. It's a pain in the butonski.
And you can't get too mad at me. All the other updates has literally been within a week.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Let me see here. We want to know some. I've seen this twice. You have any interest to ever move into any sort of tech mods or anything?
Um, I mean, I tried compatibility with Mine Factory Reloaded, but I don't actually play with a lot of tech mods, so it's kind of hard for me to want to move into them and add a compatibility when I don't actually use them.
Right. Totally understandable. Totally understandable. Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, I'm all for people messaging me with, "Hey, could you add this small fix?" or "Hey, I wrote this up for you. Could you just add it and it'll make it compatible with my mod?" Sure, go right ahead. Please do that.
Okay. Okay. That's good news now. Okay. Um, will there be any future plans for plant mobs or plant pets?
Sadly, no, because I don't want to deal with adding new mobs and models to the game. I have tried before because I wanted to add squirrels because I really like squirrels in real life, and I found it bewildering. It was too hard.
Okay, got it, got it. Um, are you planning on making the persimmon generated for Biomes of Plenty transferable into the persimmon that is in Harvestcraft, like how you can turn the berries from bushes into berries from Harvestcraft?
Uh, I you should already be able to do that. They both should be listed underneath the Ore Dictionary under the same name. If they are not, then hopefully Biomes of Plenty will do that.
Okay, so that should already be in place. Got it. Okay. Um,
I list absolutely everything in my mod that I possibly can under some sort of Ore Dictionary label that someone else can access.
nice. Okay. Will Pam stuff spawn in Tropicraft when 1.7 version is released?
It really depends. If I remember correctly, Tropicraft actually adds its own dimension. If that's true, I would have to add an exception for that. It wouldn't work automatically. However, if Tropicraft just adds new biomes, it should work. Maybe. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's weird.
It's weird. Okay. We want to know your favorite color, please.
Favorite color?
Yes.
My favorite color is blue.
Blue.
Like
Okay.
like a like a steel blue or a something a bit deeper than a cyan, but not like purple.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I did that question today in chat, and I do these times when I just stop and start talking to people, and blue was like the number one color that people said that their favorite color was. Okay. I'm looking for more questions here. Hold on.
Sure, no problem.
Okay. Okay. And what is the best thing that's ever happened to your mod? That's not really. Yeah, I think that's been mentioned. Okay. Um, there's already new. I think that you're always adding new foods and new seeds and stuff like that, right? Or are you pretty much done with what you're with Pam with Haverscraft? Did you catch that? Pam? Oh god, I think we lost her. No! Come back to me! She's probably panicking right now. Going, oh my god, what happened?
Oh, what happened?
There you are!
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
I was pressed. I have a cat on my lap, and I was pressing the wrong button because she moved me.
Oh
Where did
yeah.
you guys hear me?
So the question was pretty much as far as Harvestcraft is concerned, are you continuously always adding new foods and new things to it just as they come along? Like if somebody says, if you just come up with saying, I want licorice, are you adding licorice to it when you come up with it?
Right now, I am putting adding foods and everything on my end on hiatus because I would like to focus on different things like the churn and the quern and adding those type of things to the mod. However, I do like to hold donation drives, which allow people to message me and ask me, if I donate this, can you please add, all of this. That's why we have like 57 different types of jellies, because someone asked me very nicely after they donated to add all those different types of jelly sandwiches and stuff.
Jeez.
And I feel that's a much better way of doing it, because then people have more of a sense of ownership for the mod.
Right. Hey, yeah, that's definite. Um, just let me say this to them. I might be switching over, flipping over your question specifically, either because it's A, been answered already, B, is not relevant, or C, is not relevant. So if I haven't answered your question, it's for those reasons, and please don't think anything of it, you guys. Um, so do you want to keep going? The questions have kind of slowed down here. Are you happy? Is there anything else that you'd like to say? Let's ask you this. If people want to support you, how can they do that?
Well, if people would love to support me and make it so I want to keep doing this and really give me the drive, besides my own personal drive to do this, I would suggest subscribing up to my Patreon, which is basically patreon.com/Pam's Mods. And you can subscribe for anything from $1 all the way up. I try not to give too many special privileges to people based on what you can donate, because I understand you got a family, you got people to feed, you got bills. I understand that. One of the things my Patreon subscribers do get is when I release new updates that add new content that aren't just bug fixes, they get it first for like a week or two. And so they get that special privilege. You can also send me a donation via PayPal. My PayPal name is World of Row. So World OFRO.
Awesome. Looks like Minecrafting Dad snuck in a question here that I'm supposed to read. Do you see any use in having a config option for random crop death or add difficulty by replacing a unharvested crop with weeds?
I find that might be something better added by another mod, because it's very easy to hook into my mod. People ask me, and I just give them my source code to be able to work with it. I feel that would be, because I want to stick with what Minecraft does itself. I feel if you want that layer of complexity, you should look for someone else.
Awesome. Sounds great. All right. Anything that you wish to add to this entire discussion at all?
I want people to remember just how hard modders work. I know on you guys' end, you might see a person update like 3 times a day and you're like, oh my god, it must be so easy. It's not. It's incredibly hard, even for the people who are classically trained. They went to school for this. It's hard. They're taking a ton of time that they could be spending with their friends, their family, doing their own hobbies, playing Minecraft for themselves, making mods for you. So always remember, try not to pester modders too much. You don't need to send them a message, asking them questions. Sit down and read the config file, or sit down and read the thread. Sure, it's huge. Read the last 10 pages to see if your question's already been answered. Because trust me, I get so many messages asking me questions that are plainly and simply answered on the front page, or even the last page, or in the change log I include with the mod. So appreciate modders and just take a moment to read.
I bet your favorite thing on your forum says tomatoes are broken, fix them. That's got to be like your favorite thing people say, right?
A lot of people do like to say, hey, this is broken. Okay, well, you need to tell me what version are you using, what other mods are you using, because if you're using Hunger Overall or Spice of Life, those sit on top of my mods. I don't know how many bugs I've gone searching for that have caused by other people's mods because no one tells me.
Right, gotcha. Well, I would like to say thank you. It's been an absolute honor to have you here on the Chaoschunk Show. You are our first interview of a mod author, which is something that we're wanting to do more and more and more. So if you know anybody out there, please go ahead and shoot them my direction and say, hey, Chaoschunk would love to interview you about your mod and stuff like that. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here with us, and thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy day to help us out with this.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you to all your subscribers who are actually happy to have me on and were eager to ask me questions. It's been a great time. I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed meeting you, finding out about your show, meeting all your friends and your wife. It's been great.
Awesome. Great